So welcome to the next tool sharing section. A quick reminder of the flowchart that we've got with all the tools on that you can have a look at. Something you should change or achieve over here, looking at the What Could I Bird, which is a little tool to help with hindering thoughts. And once you've got something you want to do, whether it's something you want to improve, or you're looking for new ideas, or you want to make a decision, whatever it is, you need to know where to start. And these are the next two tools we're going to be looking at. The first one at the bottom here is your internal triangle, and that's the one we're going to be sharing, followed by an umbrella goal. So we'll just move on. Just a quick reminder that all of these are packaged into a little journal that you can download from the website alongside the different tools. And today we are looking at the next one, which is the internal triangle. We've already done daily spiral and check-in. So have a little think. Why might setting a goal be a good thing? Emily and Yvonne, you're welcome to unmute and shout out any ideas. Why might it be good to set a goal?
You have something to aim for and hold yourself accountable to. Just thinking, I've got this goal and I'm going to do it and I'm going to try and stick to it. So you're aiming for something.
Cool.
Yeah, giving yourself a purpose and like motivation, so that like Emily said, you're just working towards something.
Brilliant. So this particular tool, the internal triangle, has come from working with a company called Go Mad Thinking. They're in Leicestershire, and they go around the world helping businesses and the NHS and other things to do things more efficiently and be more profitable. And they sort of help share their definition of a goal. And there's something that we quite often forget about, which is the last one there. How will you celebrate? So they break the goal down into 4 parts. So first of all, something that you're going to do very, very specific, so you can be clear about what it is. Knowing when you will do it by, giving yourself a date and time. How will you know that you've done it? So if somebody came to check up, what proof have you got that you've done this? And the last one, how will you celebrate? So you've achieved a goal, that's great. Celebration, and a celebration doesn't have to be massive. It could just be a little punch in the air, or a glass of wine, or a cup of tea, or a cake, or a Smartie. Whatever it might be, you've achieved something. So how are you going to celebrate? So we're going to be looking a little bit more detail at this. So success is more likely if, first of all, you have got a goal which is something to aim for and achieve, and it's moving forward. Another key part of a goal is having a strong reason why. So what is the real reason why you want to do this, and whose goal is it anyway? And we'll be exploring that a little bit more. We're going to be looking at self-belief, asking yourself a very simple thing. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you're going to achieve this goal? And celebrating the little wins. So we put it into a little graphic like that. There's the goal at the bottom. There's your reason why, self-belief, and we call this your internal triangle. So basically everyone has one of these. Once I sort of learnt this, everywhere I look, I just see all these internal triangles crashing around, because every single thing that you do, you've got your own internal triangle for. There's been a goal. If you're doing it, you're achieving it, or you've achieved it. You've had a reason why for doing it, and you have the self-belief to do it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. So it's a nice way of thinking about a goal in this little triangle. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time and space to have a go at practicing this. So just on a blank bit of paper, have a think about something you want to achieve. And we're going to go through the goal first of all. So it might be something just very small that you're going to achieve today. So first of all, be very specific. What is it specifically you are going to achieve? So if it's reading a book or something, it could be, I'm going to finish reading the book, or I'm going to get to this certain page, or I'm going to read this chapter. That could be a goal. It's got to be something very specific. It could be going home and making your mum a cup of tea. That's very specific. So you've got that one. Something that you're going to specifically do. Then state when you're going to do it by. So by this time, I will have done this. And that is the second part of the goal. Thinking about how you'll know you've done it. How will you know you've actually achieved it? Have a think about that. What proof have you got that you've done it? And the fourth element, how are you going to celebrate? Now, I use this quite often. You know, when you're biking up a hill and it's really tough, I'll break it down into this. There's a lamppost. I'm going to get to that lamppost by the next 30 seconds, and I'll know because I'll have passed the lamppost, and I'm going to celebrate by going, yes, and I'm going to get to the next one. That actually helps me up the hill big time. And I'm using this little tool actually.
I used to do that when I was running as well, Deana. I had a van. I was like, I'll get to that van. And then you the landmarks,
totally.
these other little small goals. I now hate that van. Every time I see that van, I am reminded of running and pushing myself. But
it totally works, and it's the same principle. It is the same principle, because if you just looked at the massive hill you've got to climb up or whatever, it's easy to go, oh my gosh, it's just too big. So hopefully you've got a goal there that you've defined, and you've got those 4 elements to it. Now, this is a crucial bit. What are your reasons why? So you'll start off and you might have a reason that just comes to mind, but what I want you to do is keep thinking, why else? Why else? And I want you to come up with a list of reasons. And when you get to the real reason, you might see feel something in your gut that means, actually, that's my real reason. So just spend some time thinking about the reasons why. Now, you might have picked something, very, very small. You might not think of that many reasons, but if you practice this with other goals, you'll get into the swing of it. And actually thinking about your reason why is really important, because sometimes we get given goals, like a teacher giving us some homework. Whose goal is it? It's their goal. They want the homework done. So thinking about your reason why could convert somebody else's goal into your goal. You might have a reason why to do some homework set by somebody else, because actually it might benefit you in some way, and thinking about those reasons why might help make it stronger. Because if you look at the triangle, there is a strong link between the goal and the reason why. And the stronger the connection between the two, the more likely it is you're going to achieve your goal. So thinking about those reasons and then thinking of why else, why else. So have a look at the reasons you've written, and what's your strongest reason? Interestingly, was it the first one you put down? Is it something you thought about later? Have you now thought of another reason why? It's all about building that strength between the goal and the reason why. Then, this is the only thing I'm going to ask you to share. So nobody has to share the details of anything that they're doing, but what I will ask you to do is to share a number. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you will achieve the goal? So give yourself a number and then share it. You can just say it out loud.
Mine's an 8. I made my goal very specific, so hopefully I'll get there.
Yeah, I also had an 8. And mine is also very specific, that kind of has to happen today. So, but also one of my reasons why I was like, is this okay to get it over with, was one of them, just to kind of tick it off the list as well. I don't think it's the main reason. I think the other reasons are, you know, are more powerful or are better, but it was one of the reasons.
Yeah, and that's fine. And it's no matter how you make you feel, just to have it off your list.
Yes.
So you're both at an 8, and if you look at the little triangle, there's a little line between 5 and 6. So if either of you had said a 5, so let's just imagine for a minute that somebody said 5 or 4 or 3 or 2 or 1. What's the chance of that goal being achieved? Higher or lower than if it's above a 5?
I'd say I want to say a lower chance, because you need your self-belief and motivation to do it harder.
Totally.
Yeah,
So if you are, yeah, brilliant. If you are then 0 to 5, the chances of achieving that goal are very much reduced. Obviously, the closer you get to 0. So then you can start thinking about, well, actually, I need to look at my goal. I need to look at my reasons why. So this is where you can help other people as well, because without getting involved in their details, you can ask a few questions. You know, for instance, you might want to suggest, you know, the time scale. What if you gave yourself more time? Would that increase your self-belief? So you can then tweak your goal. You could increase the celebration, for instance. You might choose to do so. It might be something big, and you can choose to do something smaller. So all those things you can do to twiddle with your goal to make sure that your self-belief is actually 6 or above. Because once it's 6 or above, you've got a fair chance of achieving it. And there are other tools to help with that. One of which is the elephant story, which you're not doing today, but that's a tool that helps you then achieve that goal. But if you're less than a 6, then the advice is have a rethink of your goal, dig down into your reasons why, and see if you can improve your self-belief. So we're going to have a little discussion now about usefulness, enjoyableness. Where might you use it? Who might you share it with? And just so you know, if you want to get in touch, there's my number and email and website. So I'll stop sharing and we'll join the discussion. So internal triangles. I love the names of all of these.
Yes.
How's
yes,
that?
I think that would be really, I found that really useful, and I can see how you might also use this, and how young people might use it, so that you, like you said at the end, the goal might actually be you might need to do it and then go and revisit, because the goal might be too big and you might need to break it down into smaller goals. Yeah, that was a really good tool, because sometimes we kind of jump in, don't we, with a really big idea, and it's actually might need to be broken down into smaller goals.
And I think it's really useful tool to help you think about why you're doing something. I think, I don't know about you guys, but if you know, if I've been asked to do something and I don't know why, I don't know what it's going to contribute to, or why I don't know why I'm doing it, what the purpose of it is, sometimes I struggle then to have that self-belief and work towards that goal, because you think, what's the point? So thinking about that reason why, the real reason why, you know, which might not be because someone's asked you to do it, but it is, you know, it's that real reason, is really useful to think about. And I can really see it being used as a way to really break down steps, like Yvonne was saying, break down goals into more manageable chunks that have a meaning, that are meaningful. Which then increases your motivation and your self-belief, doesn't it? If it feels meaningful and like you've got a purpose.
I think a lot of young people get given goals, exactly that, and they're not buying into them because they don't know the relevance. They've not got a reason why for themselves. So that reason why is crucial. I'm just reminded of one session we did with one young person, and his goal, because you can ask this in all sorts of different ways, but he wanted to have lots of money. That was it. I wanted loads of money.
Yeah.
So it was like, why? What's your reason why? And gradually it came out that the reason he wanted loads of money was because he wanted to travel. And then when he got thinking a bit more, he came up with all sorts of different things he could do to travel that didn't involve having loads of money. And that was what was also really interesting, was he then identified an obstacle that would prevent him from doing what he wanted to do, which was having a criminal record. And he went through that all himself. So he identified his own goal. He then checked his reasons why and got down to the real reason, then came up with loads of ideas of how he could achieve that in a different way, and then thought, actually, there's an issue I've got here, because if I get a criminal record, I can't travel. And that was nobody said to him, you don't have, if you have a criminal record, you can't do this. that was really, really fascinating, just to use the questions to take people on a little journey. And it's all them doing it, everybody's doing it for themselves, but it had that.
Yeah, so the thing about the reasons why might as well are not the real reasons why, are they?
Yeah,
you
so
really look
change
into
his
it.
goal. Yeah.
I think on a similar sort of similar story, that we've worked with a number of young people through creative mentoring who just, they might have finished school and they just want to get a job because they just want money. And I think understanding that process, and we've done a lot of work around understanding the importance of volunteering and networking, and I think this could be used in a really good way if you're a young person thinking about actually volunteering, thinking about actually those reasons why it's important, and thinking about your self-belief, and that can all contribute to like moving on those goals of, okay, I've volunteered for a bit now and I want to get a job. And I think just understanding the importance of it could be used in a really productive way to understand some of those things that you might have been asked to do or recommended to do that you don't initially think that's a good idea, but working through this trial could help you think about actually reframing that a little bit.
Yeah, and come up for that for yourself.
Yeah.
So when you think about your own goal, what you want to achieve, you might come up with those ideas. We've got a little tool called possibility thinking, which is really cool, which helps come up with ideas. And as I mentioned in here, the elephant story is another little cool tool to help then plan your whatever it is, whatever goal it is. And that goes through a little story that helps you identify the key elements of any successful project, which when Go Mad Thinking did that, they did hours and hours and hours of research on people who were successful, and then they were trying to find like a framework, and the internal triangle is the key initial part of the framework, and then the elephant story is the second part of the framework to help you achieve.